Hey everybody, Mrs. Whipkey asked me and a few other alumni to create these videos to talk about our careers and how we got where we are, the journey that it took us to get there. And my first question to her was, are you sure you want me to talk about it? Because my career path has been so crazy and all over the place that telling the story would just probably leave you with more questions than helpful information. So what I've come up with is a short list of little nuggets that have really helped me throughout my life, both personally and professionally. Disclaimer, no one knows everything. I have a hard time listening to this advice myself. So just know that I don't have it all figured out. These are just things that I found helpful, and it's a work in progress. We're all works in progress. So first thing is to make sure that you make plans, because without a plan, I don't see how anything gets done. But the important thing, and this is something I never really was taught, was to embrace it when your plans change. You don't have to set things in stone and then keep going that way just because. That's just dumb and stubborn and how I lived a lot of my life. So you're already ahead of the game if you can figure that out now. So next up we have for you to do some hard thinking and recognize what is it that you do better than most other people. To illustrate this, my one friend who's a really gifted performer who's auditioning out in New York all the time, he knows that as long as he can get into a room where he has to sing, that's where he'll shine. In a room of 10 or 20 people, he knows he has the best singing voice. And he plays to that strength, and it gets him far. So even if you're not auditioning for something, I still think it's important to understand your strengths and really capitalize on that. Hone in, get as good as you can, and you can carry that confidence with you into interviews. Okay, this next one sounds a little self-explanatory, but actually do work when you're at work. If you don't have something to do, if you're a really fast worker and you complete everything you need to do and you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs, find something else to do. And that may sound like a bummer because you end up doing more work than other people, but I'll tell you, the only time I ever got fired in my life was when I was a busboy at a restaurant, and all I had to do was fill up the glasses on the tables with water, and I did that. But my manager never saw me doing that because I did it so fast, and in his mind, I didn't do anything and I was lazy, so he just fired me on the spot after a week of working there. In hindsight, if I had filled the water and then, done a lap, swept something up, I don't know. I should have figured something else out, but I'm glad I didn't end up working there. But I took that lesson forward, and in jobs where I got hired in the future only to work, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week, I would say to my boss, hey, there's all this stuff that's not getting done. Do you want me to do it? And of course they say yes. And then me working 15 hours a week turned into 20 hours a week and then 30 hours a week. And that's how I was able to get promoted and move up and ultimately make more money. So find ways to make yourself busy. It also just feels better doing that at work. I never believed that when people would say it, but it actually does feel good to not be bored sitting around doing nothing. So this one is not very fun, but it's important. Save 20% of your pre-tax income. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not sure if Camden Catholic offers any financial planning courses, but if they do, take it. Save your money. Make sure it's a responsible amount, but don't go crazy. You don't need to become a musclehead, but just make sure you're sweating most days in a healthy way. Get out there and get your healthy, organic endorphins. Mental health also. Therapy's great. I go every week. I have a therapist, even with my job and healthy relationship and family life, everything. It's really good to have someone to talk to who is a third party, whose job it is to look at you objectively without years of knowing you as a friend or as a family member. It's great. I highly recommend therapy. if you don't know what you want to do or what you want to study, learn how to code. Go to codecademy.com. I don't make any money from recommending them, but just go to Codecademy, play around, explore with different coding languages. A lot of the jobs that Comcast, where I work, we have a quote unquote hiring freeze because of COVID, but they're still hiring engineers out the wazoo. If you have passions that are not coding, I suggest you follow those passions. Do what it is you want to do. But if you have no clue what you want to do, it is absolutely free to go to Codecademy and just try it out. There's worse ways to spend your time. I hope that is helpful to anyone out there. You feel free to add me on LinkedIn. That's another thing. Make a LinkedIn. Whenever you're interning and make a good connection with someone, make sure to add them on LinkedIn. I really am, my heart goes out to the juniors and seniors who are missing prom and your Disney trip and graduation and all the good stuff. It's really unfair that this is happening to you guys, and I give you all a lot of credit for persevering and trucking through it. So stay safe, stay sane, be good to each other.